being ignorant to the fact that I don't think things through is probably one of my biggest assets. Because the reason of what separates people that are in the high class to people that are in the low to medium class is that you guys, well, I'll say us because I'm still here right now. We think things through way too much that we end up turning ourselves off from the idea from the jump. The confusion between progression and just staying busy is what prevents a lot of people's growth. Because you can plan things out, you can plan out videos, you can plan out your next meets, you can plan out what you're going to say to the next person you meet, whatever. But if you don't execute these things, here's the problem that we all jump into. Because by not executing them and just thinking about them, they're just ideas sitting in the back of your pocket that don't go anywhere. And these ideas can generate a lot of potential for you, a lot of revenue, a lot of growth, a lot of status. And in this life, if you have no status, you have nothing really. The messed up fact is that you can build all these systems, but if you aren't actively pursuing the decision of what those systems are meant to go to, you aren't gonna end up getting anywhere from them. And not being seen is probably one of the worst things that you can do along the path of your progression, because you can have so many ideas, you can have so many people that you run into in day-to-day life, but I'm sure you've all have heard the saying that you can't start a business based off of word of mouth. You can, but it'll take an eternity to get to where it is you are trying to be. I believe to market yourself is for sure one of the top ways for you to be able to, get yourself out there, to get your brand, your product, your system more out there so people are aware of what you have, because people also trust the person. So for example, when I first started everything, I first started to do a book or started my business, Dark Desire Books, I started solely based off of the word of mouth. I started in school, and the school knew about my brand, my product, my store. They knew about the things that I did online, but at this point it's just high school. There's not anything serious when it comes to people that are actually interested in investing in you or coming to specifically you for your brand. Now I had to take a big step back and a big pause to focus on that aspect of being able to put myself out there within the market so people know what I have to offer. But I'm not selling the products, I'm not selling just the brand. I'm selling myself. Sounds like prostitution. But me, myself, I am the brand, so I'm not just selling somebody a product. And that's what I believe really does mess a lot of people up, because they get solely focused and solely hooked on just trying to sell a product to a consumer, when it isn't that simple. It's that simple in retail. In big corporations, it's just business to customer, B2C, that's it. But when you're first starting out, people aren't going to come to you at first because of your product. They don't know your product. You're just now starting out. People are going to come to you because of the type of person you are and the clientele you attract by being the person that you are. The type of environment you set up for your business is what plays a huge part into all of that. And Dark Desire Books started off as just reselling books because I was so into reading. I was so into romance, until I switched my perspective on it and started to think, I'm not just selling books to people. I mean, what really sets me apart from Barnes and Nobles or Amazon or any other physical bookstore out there? It isn't the books I sell, because they all have them. The real difference between all of it is the type of business I attract, how I handle my business. I'm not selling books, I'm selling an experience. No bookstore has what my bookstore has, because I offer a unique and versatile experience to my customer base. And that is what's going to get people to come to you. When you brand yourself and you put yourself on the market, you don't promote what you're selling, you promote the type of experience you're offering to people. Because offering just a book, or just you could be selling shoes or clothes, that doesn't appeal to most people. You need to offer something emotional, not something just physical. You charge for the things not for the things that you have to offer. Because when you begin to just start to charge for the things you have to offer, automatically you're setting yourself back. Because I've noticed most people end up starting to make a living based off of the sale of the knowledge they know, or perhaps just a skill that they've crafted. It doesn't take much on their own end to get started for what they're trying to sell. And that's why courses and books and digital ebooks and videos and user generated content is such a big thing now, because you don't need to invest a lot into it to begin. But now if you're seeing it from the other perspective, where you're a store owner just starting out, you haven't marketed yourself at all, not that many people know who you are, but you believe you could start a business because your friends or your family told you that you're able to. But now you're just selling a product without any meaning behind it. And you can succeed that way a bit. A business is probably like it has the most risk, but it also has the biggest turnaround as well. My point being, though, is that you have to initially invest into your business first, which is usually a big investment before you see a return on your investment. And most of the time, the first few months, you're gonna be in the negatives. You aren't gonna blow up unless you have the next big invention that people are dying to have. The point that I'm trying to make is that the confusion between progression and staying busy is what will slow down a lot of people's progression when it comes to their own growth. And I say that because I've experienced a lot of it, where I began to just do things just to keep me busy, because that was the easy way to feel like I was actually doing something towards progression. But really, if you aren't building yourself towards systems that generate you something within 2 to 4 weeks, then it's honestly a waste of your time. And that is what will separate the successors from the thinkers. Because you're constantly thinking about what your next move should be. Meanwhile, the world's next billionaire is already onto the next great thing. And the thing is, they don't even know that they're onto it. They're just moving. They're going with the flow. They're not thinking about it. They just take care of things as it comes their own way. And if there's something that they do not know, that they honestly need the knowledge to know to even go further, they hire somebody else that's smarter than them to do that. But anyways, that's just my take on progression versus the feeling of staying stuck. Because I've been where I was heavy on making progress, and I was in a flow state, as they say, and I hit a point where I wasn't sure what my next move should be.